In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make your turbo car have a flutter like this. Let's get into the video and I'll show you guys how. Hey guys, Jordan here from ThatCarLife, and today we're at the ThatCarLife HQ. We've got the S15 Silvia behind me, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I just recently posted a new reel to my Instagram and YouTube Shorts, and it's absolutely blown up on Instagram. At the time of filming, it's got like 7.5 million views, which is insane. Like, I've never had anything I've posted get millions of views like that, so yeah, I'm blown away at the response to that. But there's hundreds of people commenting, reaching out, asking how to make their turbo car sound like mine did in that video, and I've tried to refer a lot of people to a video I made about 4 or 5 years ago on the channel explaining how to do it, but because it's so old, a lot of people were struggling to find it, and I thought, you know what, let's make a new one for the new people that are coming to the channel, and also for my subscribers that haven't seen that video, because understandably it is pretty old. So let's get started and I'll tell you guys how to make it happen. So some of you new people to the channel are probably going to find it hard to believe that my S15 still has the stock factory turbo, and I can still get all of that noise, all of that flutter out of the stock turbo. It is possible. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on a whole new turbo setup. You can actually make it dose and flutter for relatively cheap. The first thing you'll need to do is to install a cold air intake or pod filter. So this connects straight to the turbo, and basically all of that sound that you're going to be hearing is going to come out of this pod filter. See it as like, I guess you can basically see the pod filter as a speaker if you want to see it that way. So the sound is going to be coming out of this. So if you don't have a pod filter, you're not really going to be hearing any flutter. And if there is, it's going to be very, very quiet. So you can actually hear the flutter, you definitely need a pod filter. But to actually get that dose, the next thing you will need to do is block off the blow-off valve. So most turbo cars from the factory should have a factory blow-off valve, or your car might have an aftermarket blow-off valve already installed. But the key to unlocking that flutter, that dose, is blocking off the blow-off valve. So where the blow-off valve should be on my S15 is right here. So this hose should be going to where the blow-off valve will be, but it's going to nothing. So because I have no blow-off valve, that is what makes the, you know, the flutter, the dose, all possible. And if you're wondering what I've used for my S15, I've used a GK Tech blow-off valve blocker. I'll link it in the description down below. I'm pretty sure it's like 30 bucks or something, very cheap. You can also use like a door stopper from Bunnings or something like that if you're really on a budget. It's very cheap to do this, and this is what will unlock the flutter. So if you guys have followed the steps with step 1 and step 2, you basically unlock the sound of your turbo, you can hear it, and with the blocked off blow-off valve, you're going to be hearing that flutter as well. But there is ways to make that flutter louder, longer, and heaps better with just a few quick and easy mods, and I'm going to be showing you guys that as well. Right here next to your pod filter, there is the intake pipe that connects to the pod filter and goes to the turbo. So most factory turbo cars will have like a plastic intake pipe, which will still do the trick, but to really get a better and louder flutter, you will need a metal intake pipe, which I've got right here. I'm going to show you guys some sound clips from when I had a blocked off blow-off valve, pod filter, and a plastic stock intake pipe, and then I'll compare it to what this will sound like with the metal intake pipe, so you can see the difference for yourself. So as you guys could hear from those clips, there was still a decent flutter with the stock intake pipe, but I still think there was a pretty good difference when changing to that metal intake pipe. I think it definitely changed the tone of the flutter and definitely made it a little bit louder and a little bit longer. The final thing you will need to do to get the ultimate flutter is install a full front mount intercooler. So we're talking metal intercooler piping that goes down into a fully sick intercooler. And I'll put in some sound clips here of what my setup sounds like with blocked off blow-off valve, metal intake pipe, pod filter, and a full front mount intercooler, so you guys can see just how good it sounds. I think there's definitely a massive difference when you have everything on to make that ultimate flutter. But this is definitely the best way to do it if you want to unlock the ultimate flutter and dose for very cheap, very easy out of any turbo setup. The fact that you can do this with a stock turbo is just insane as well. The S15s definitely sound awesome with these mods. And one last thing I can mention that you can add, which is definitely optional, but I think it does make a difference to your sound, is installing a manual boost controller into your car as well. So I've got a Turbo Smart manual boost controller here. You can turn up the boost a little bit. So when you're you're hitting a higher amount of boost, the flutter will be louder, longer, and a whole lot better. But definitely do your research, speak to a mechanic, make sure that the boost that you're turning it up to is going to be safe for your current setup, or if you have an ECU, tune it as well. My car at the moment is not tuned, so I haven't turned it up a crazy amount. And I know a lot of people have been debating in that reel on Instagram about whether or not this is healthy for your car. It's going to blow up your turbo, blow up your engine. Guys, I've had this setup on the S15 for over 6 years now, and I have not had any issues with damaging my turbo or anything like that. I've pulled the intake apart, I've checked for oil leaks, for shaft play. The turbo is in pretty good nick, and that's after 6 years with this setup and, you know, all that mad dosing action. So, but this is just what I've experienced personally with my setup. I don't think there's any issue with it. Like, if you want to make it dose, make it dose. If you're scared it's going to damage it and you want to put a blow-off valve on, then it's up to you, but you're not going to get the awesome dose like this out of it. I guess that's the only trade-off. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it helped a lot of you guys, you know, the new people that are coming to the channel, and also a lot of my current subscribers as well. I hope this helped you guys out. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.